And we are live. I want to thank everyone for joining us yet again. It's time for Epic Sketch Time. I'm your host, Mark Monlux. We here at Epic Sketch Time draw every week. You feel free to join us. We take artists of various calibers. You can be a beginner or you can be an old pro. It doesn't matter who. We're illustrators, painters, drawers, doodlers, and occasionally other creative professionals. With me today is Bill Morse, KDC, and Roger. Bill, I'm going to ask you to go first, say your name, where you're located, and the project you're working on today.
Hi, I'm Bill Morse. I'm a illustrator and cartoonist working out of Seattle, Washington. I do a webcomic called Rhapsodies at rhapsodies.wpmorse.com, and today I am inking a upcoming Sunday strip.
Katie, you're next.
Katie?
Hi. Yes, sorry guys. I am Katie, and you can find me on Instagram at Evil Girlfriend Media. I enjoy painting with acrylics. I like to mesh horror and pets, and especially like drawing and painting screaming ladies. Today I am working on a picture of a chihuahua standing on the head of one of the alien characters from They Live, in celebration of Texas Frightmare Weekend announcing that John Carpenter is going to be one of their main guests.
Nice. Roger, you're up. And I see Roger drew a little cartoon of himself. Let's see. So Epic Sketch Time has been going on. I can't remember if it's been 7 years, 6 years, 7 years, or 8 years, but we've been doing this for a long time. And let's see. No, Roger, not 99 years. Ha, 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 ha. So it just seems like that. Let's see. So, Bill, you were saying that you had a week. Tell us about your week, Bill.
Well, yesterday I was had to do a run to the post office for the other group I'm involved with, Cartoonist Northwest, only to discover that I could not find the safe place that I had thought I'd put the keys was a little too safe. And so I spent a aggravating half hour tearing up my office looking for the thing. Finally found it in that shelf over there where I keep my library books. Don't ask I don't know how it got there either. And then today I discovered that the tearing up the place in the process of tearing up the place, I mislaid my stylus for my old tablet, which took me an aggravating amount of free time to do that, and only found it in a sort of Hail Mary, yeah, I know it's ridiculous, but you should check it anywhere, and found it in my backpack I think it was a case of me putting a handful of pencils out of the way as I was, so I wouldn't lose them as I was tearing the place apart. And that kind of backfired.
So, Bill, the home you're going to move into, do you plan on moving into it in Maine or Seattle? Or, just where are you planning on losing all your marbles? Let's see. So that all started yesterday. What happened earlier in the week for you?
Well,
Ted-
yesterday was Monday, so that was earlier in the week.
Oh, okay. My big news is that my Kickstarter is going great guns. And I made a big decision today with my Kickstarter. I've decided to go ahead and unlock all of my enamel pins and make a stretch goal. Currently, I'm at around $1,000, and at around $1,750, I will release what the image will look like for a 7th enamel pin if we get that far with the stretch goals. And if we get up to 2,500, which is really the goal I wanted to achieve, then I would show everybody the new pin, which I think will be Robot Monster. So I think I might be working on some designs for Robot Monster this week, but I don't know. I think I might even just wait until we get up higher before I even start designing that. But I crunched the numbers and I realized, I could cover some of the expenses for these pins and have Kickstarter cover some of the rest of the expenses. I would still be out of pocket, but I really want to just get these pins done. It's not going to be completely paid for unless I get more numbers up. So right now, I'm trying to think of how I can get my numbers up on my Kickstarter. According to my feedback that I'm getting from the app, most of the people signing on are not signing on from my social media or any of that. It's coming from direct emails. So I'm thinking, geez, which of my email, I do have a couple email lists, but there's no more than say 50 or 60 people on each one. I wish I had an email of 1,000 people that I could send to, but I tend to keep my email list very specific to like certain groups. And each group typically has no more than 30 or 50 emails on it. I know nobody else in here has done Kickstarters, so I'm just kind of curious. Have you spoken to other friends who have done Kickstarters? And if you have they mentioned anything about their type of experience?
Well, the main person I generally talk with, you've already had long conversations with, so.
Would that be Stowe?
Stan.
Ah, Stan. Yes, I do have long conversations with Stan.
As far as I remember, Stowe's only experience with Kickstarter was the one that he never did.
No, he did a Kickstarter. He just never fulfilled on it. He's planning on fulfilling on it, but he's been planning on fulfilling on it for the last 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody's being very patient with it. Well, I would just say most of his fan base is being pretty patient with him. But yeah. He did, he's the first to admit that he made a standard error, and that is he didn't have his product completed and ready to go to press 100% when, I do beg your pardon, I gotta kill my microphone and check out what that.
What was his question about the Kickstarter? I'm sorry, I missed.
It
what
was
he
about how to get more, I believe it was to get more contacts and experience of where our if in our Kickstarter experience, where were we getting the people engaging in the Kickstarter?
Oh,
I
yeah.
have to
Okay.
go out to my garage for 5 minutes. Some guy came, one of my friends is picking up a bunch of newspapers I collected for a paper mache project for his students. So I'll be
Okay.
back in a
Okay.
few minutes.
Um, okay. Yeah, I did a Kickstarter a long time ago, so I don't even know that my feedback would be helpful. Um,
Yeah, I
we,
occasionally play around with the idea for one, and either I'm not as inspired as I thought I was, or I chicken out.
I just feel like it's so much work. We had a successful Kickstarter, and we began. I felt like I had a pretty solid base for my campaign because we had the publishing company. So,
Hmm.
we already had social media set up, um, and we planned a pretty comprehensive, um, promotion so that we would get the attention of a lot of people. I'm just trying to think of where else he could. And it's so hard to get attention on social media anymore unless you are paying anymore. I mean, like it seems like you have to pay for to get your stuff in front of people.
Yeah,
Um,
I know what you mean. I've been trying some of the suggestions I've been hearing with playing the algorithms, which, to the best of my knowledge, do not appear to be working. And
yeah,
and I was and then of course there's the whole need to participate, as it were, because I'm on all the social medias for advertising purposes, but generally, because I have no interest in the drama, I generally my posting, other than posting my content or commenting on something innocuous, I hardly have any presence at all. And I realize that if I want to be more visible, I should at least put likes on other people's stuff.
yeah. I used to be pretty visible on social media, and I got when I had the company, and I just got really burnt out, and now um I don't have that momentum anymore. And it's like, even when I post, on Instagram, I don't get, people won't like a picture or something. And I'm like, oh my gosh, is this painting suck? Like, why are people not liking this? And it's just actually probably purely they don't see it. It's just not getting in front of them, because I'm not paying to target it to anyone. I'm just posting um, because it's my art page. Um,
Yeah.
but
Oh, sorry.
no, you go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, and I've frequently found that quality has very little to do with the piece, with how much attention your piece gets. And I really haven't. There was a few times where I thought I'd figured out the pattern, and then it stopped. I mean, for example, there's times where it depends on what tag you did. So, for
Mhm.
example, I don't know if you ever saw any of my. I used to do these double features every week, and so as essentially where I went to my favorite video place and took advantage of their 2-for-1 deal on Wednesdays and did a movie review on my blog. And then to add to that, I put a picture of the two posters from the posters from both movies and said I watched this, and put every single tag I could think of, mostly all the talent involved, and those got really good traffic.
Yeah, I think that that's a good, I know, do you know Travis Bundy? I'm
Yes.
sure you do. So yeah, that's one of the things I think he gets a lot of traction on Instagram and stuff for his movie posters. Sometimes he gets, the actual actors and stuff in from the movies liking the art. Of course, that also relies on if you tag the person or you tag the movie and they're following it, that they actually have to like what you created. But I mean, he does seem to get a lot of favorable, um, you know, response on his social media. So
Yeah, I mean, I've been thinking about considering doing posters for a while, though nothing at the moment has particularly inspired me.
I have a targeted, audience and stuff. So I kind of knew what I was going to be. I know what I'm going to be doing for the next couple months as far as, getting ready for my one big show of the year, and then anything that's left over, if I go to another con, that's where that stuff is going to get sold, you know. So I mean, I knew that. I think with John Carpenter coming to Texas Frightmare, I mean, the only thing that could make this better is if he were to get like Kurt Russell. I mean, but that's just Kurt Russell at a convention, a horror convention. But I mean, that would just blow their sales out of the water, because if you got John Carpenter and Kurt Russell, think of all the movies they've done together that are horror. I mean, that's insane. So, which reminds me, I might have to do a German Shepherd. Um,
Yeah, no, wait a minute. That was a husky, wasn't it? Or am I getting?
or was it a husky? Okay, no,
You're
no,
talking
it was
about
a
the thing,
husky.
right?
Yes, no, you're right. It was a husky. Um, but I would have to do it as an actual, I wouldn't do I would do the actual dog, not the monster.
Right.
um, but I've always got my Chihuahua fans too. There's a lot of people who love Chihuahuas out there, including myself. But um,
Yeah, no, that's something I should play around with too. For example, I have a friend who has a Shiba Inu who doesn't like me very much, regrettably. But one thing I quickly picked up on after they got her was just how much Shiba swag there was out there.
well, yes, they're such cute dogs. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
and
They
frighteningly
all
smart.
attitude. Yes. My friend, the one that I did the German Shepherd with the Jason face, I'm planning on doing a couple of, just more the standard of the breed.
Right.
Um, because there tends to be more people who get that, like my girls are not standards, they're mutts. They look a lot like Chihuahuas, but they're not going to be standards. But when you're, going to a mass market event, you're going to do kind of the stereotypical look of the animal, versus, doing one that is going to be uniquely, because my girls are black and tan and then gray and tan. And so that's just not, gray and tan especially is not a very common color combo that you see. So um, I just have to be careful with what breeds I paint and do, just because, you don't want to get too rare, because then you're only going to get a certain group. But then, kind of like you're saying, some people don't even have the dog, or even that type of cat. They just appreciate having, like, especially like pugs. There are so many people that love pug art that
Uh-huh.
don't even have pugs. um they don't even have them. They just love the art of the um because they love the way pugs look. Same with French bulldogs. People
Yeah.
also, um I did a Yoda French bulldog and had
Oh, yeah.
people.
I think I remember that. And one thing I've noticed quite often, there's quite a few people who lump pug, at least artistically, lump pugs and Frenchies together.
Yes, they do. It's that, what is it called? Brachydactyl face or cephalic face?
Brachycephalic, yes.
There you go. Yes.
Bill would
Um,
be the only person I knew who would know that name. Have that down. Wait, nice job, Bill. You make me proud.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we were talking about Kickstarter and social media, trying to solve your problem for a little bit, and then we kind of got onto other topics. So um we are trying to figure out how you can build your audience to get, I mean, have you tried and you're trying not to do any targeted ads or anything like that, right? You're trying to keep your costs as low as possible.
Well, I did put out an ad on Instagram, but everybody else I've been talking to who does ads on Instagram say that they don't sell anything. So, but they
Okay.
they said, but try Facebook instead. Facebook tends to sell. So I'm
That
thinking
would
I
be
will
my
do a
suggestion.
Facebook ad. What's been your feedback on that?
Well, I did a Kickstarter, but it was so long ago. It was in 2016, but I had a huge fan base and I did a lot of market research prior to, doing the Kickstarter. But we had the publishing company. So we had already over 1,000 people on our Facebook fan page. And then, we had probably 600 or 700 followers on Twitter. Um, and I did have a couple, pretty well-known fantasy authors. And then Ed Greenwood was one of the editors, if you guys know who he is. And so, I feel like all those things were contributing factors for us, which isn't going to help you. Um, the only other thing I would think would be targeted ads. Like, the one group you invited me to be a part of that is a Facebook group that we talk about it's like 1940s and 50s horror, sci-fi and horror movies. But do they even allow you to post that you have something like a Kickstarter? Because that crowd would be the crowd that would be interested in backing your Kickstarter. Because
So
these are
I
obscure
have been
movies.
posting on a few of those pages, and there are even pages that are dedicated to pins. But like you said, you have to, before you post on any page, you need to go and look at the rules for that particular group. Like on the pin page, some of the pages allow you to do it once a day. Others will allow you to do it once or twice a day, and others will only allow you to do it once every other day.
Okay. And you saw no traction from that, right? Is that what you said?
Well, I think I picked up some, but I haven't been
Okay.
posting there every day. The most of the traction is actually coming, or that I can see with the analytics. Most is coming from direct emails, and so I haven't been putting together email lists specifically for this, aside from my typical ones, and I've not been whacking those email lists over the head.
Right. Yeah. Because I mean, that was the one thing that you said that kind of struck out to me. I was like, obviously, you clearly have loyal fans if your emails are working to get people to participate in your Kickstarter. So I mean, that's a really great sign. The other thing I've seen people do is you find people who are doing a Kickstarter similar to yours or who have had success on their Kickstarters, and then you ask them to do a cross promotion. But I mean, how many other people are doing obscure movie pins that you could potentially get to share in that? Do like a email swap.
One thing that did pay off was I actually got on a blog, timed it right. The blog went live yesterday, and that produced some sales.
Oh, cool. Okay, that's
And
awesome.
So a podcast, I mean, not a blog, but a podcast. Oh, I wanted to show you guys I don't know if you've seen my latest and greatest sticker. So this is my latest and greatest sticker
Nice.
from, I think I might have showed it off last week. Or did we not have a thing last week? Was I on vacation last week? What happened?
I think you'd come back, but it was pretty quiet. It was a quiet one.
I think
Oh.
I talked a lot last week because I remember telling my husband that I felt like I was a blabbermouth last week.
Roger says, yeah, we were chatting away last week. So if you want to see what my I will post later in the doobly-doo down below what the link is to my Kickstarter, or you can go to Kickstarter and look for Atomic Age Alien series. I just come up with the best names. One of these days I'll come up with a really good, nice short name. Now, I was hoping to start a podcast where I would talk to my friends about movies and do nothing but spoilers. But the name Spoiled Rotten has already been taken.
Oh, drats.
So we need another one.
Oh my gosh, what else? That's
Oh.
a good one.
I know, it was such a good name.
Oh, here's a thought, sort of, and it's something to do with it spoiled so badly it's ripe.
Overripened?
Overripe? I don't know.
No, that sounds more like a fruit seller. Reverse words? Reverse the ripened, spoiled?
Yeah, no, okay, that's not gonna
Yeah, that was Roger's suggestion. Thank you, Roger.
what about I feel like you need something that's kind of like Dr. Demento, but for
Yeah, but I think what we came up with last week was stale popcorn.
oh, that's
which
fun.
you just said was already taken.
Stale popcorn? I haven't checked to see if there's a stale popcorn podcast. I'm going online right now.
Definitely need to see that one, yes. I like that one. I have a couple of friends, theirs are all like LGBTQ, but they all have like really fun names for their podcasts. I'm wondering.
Guess what?
It's used.
Yes, the stale corn podcast is already out there. I'm taking a look to see what it's about. I'm guessing
What is the name of the speaker when you go to the drive-in? Is it just called a speaker, or does it have a different
well, that's
You mean the speaker that you hook up to the window?
yeah, does it have its own special name? Because thinking about like the golden age of movies and drive-ins and like
I'm suddenly
like
having
that.
images of the closing credits of the Flintstones when you're talking about that.
Yeah, I mean, because I could see that.
Wait a minute, it was the opening credits of Flintstones, but you know what I'm word they come out with the ribs and then he puts the horn
Yes.
up the window.
Yeah. What is there a special name for that type of speaker? Because then, because you're speaking out of the box and we're talking about movies and you're probably going to be talking about obscure and vintage movies.
Let's see, vintage drive-in speakers. there does not appear to be a specific word for drive-in movie speakers.
Let me see.
Though you can find lots on eBay. Well, back in the day, what they did was, because so many people would drive off and yank the speaker out of the window and either break the window or just drive off with the speaker.
Yeah.
They made it so that you would turn on your radio to an AM channel, and it would, and they would broadcast the music, the soundtrack that way. Which was great for the people who lived in the area, because then they didn't have to go over to the movie theater. They could just look out their window and turn on the radio. Oh, and vintage movie rot. Well, I think that's a great name, except that I want people to talk about their favorite films, not just vintage films.
Right. Okay.
But I like the word rot. I mean, that's a good word. Oh, no worries, Roger. Yeah, keep them coming. I wrote it down. Let's see. There are people who are armchair quarterbacks. What do you call a movie chair?
Back row.
What about lawn chair? Like, you sit, because I'm thinking Joe Bob too, but like, people sit out in the lawn chairs at the drive-in and watch the movie.
Lawn chair theater?
Lawn chair rot? Rotting in my lawn chair.
That sounds like a really bad gardening show.
I'm not, I'm not sure, but I'm loving this black gessoed canvas, because it gives it such a unique look. Like, you don't even want to fully cover where you're painting. Like, that whole black through the paint thing kind of looks fun, almost looks chalky.
Reminding me of Black Velvet a little bit.
Yeah, well, I like that kind of fun, because my art is not refined. It's kind of tacky looking in that weird folk way. So I'm kind of like loving this. I just got to figure out where this poor dog's sunglass loop is going to go around his ear. That was an unfortunate, poor planning on my part. I'm gonna have to come
or
back
you
to
can
that.
just forget about the loop entirely and just do the front part of the sunglasses and just let people go, okay, it is what it is.
A chihuahua standing on an alien head.
Is it Pez-Nez or Penne?
I always thought it was Pitney per se, but
Me per se?
that was because that was a guess because it's French.
I just realized the darn sunglasses are too high, because I wanted to show, how Roddy Piper, he pulls the sunglasses down and shows his, he's looking down.
Oh, well, in that case, if you have to pull them down, make them more ovalish, and that way you can definitely have the things going up, or the what do they call on your eyeglass? These little ear struts.
Yeah, these need to be lower. That's okay though. I'll get it.
Okay, I came up with a really bad name. Marquee Mark.
I kind of like it. Marquee Mark. Well, what about Marquee Monlux? Or Monlux is Marquee?
Yeah.
Mm.
I can't,
We're close. We're close, y'all. We're
yes,
close.
but I can't go Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. I was trying to make a play off unless I was trying, okay, what could I say instead of funky? But nobody remembers that Mark Wahlberg was Marky Mark.
I remember that.
I do.
I actually have his DVD.
I was gonna say I was gonna make a comment about, are you gonna run around in your Calvin Kleins, but I didn't think that would be appropriate.
My wife really likes me in Calvin Klein. I'm just saying that right now.
Oh my God.
She's a boxer brief gal, let me tell you.
What else? What else can we do
I
here?
really need to talk more about my. Oh, you mean titles? Okay.
Yes. What other title could we go here? We're close. You have a lot of great titles for like your different Kickstarters and your books, and so you've got it in you to make this happen. I know you do.
Maybe something off of a play off the word real.
Yes, real would work.
Really rotten. No.
Rotten reels. But see, now if you did something with rot in it.
Well, how about just
bad movies?
Just real rotten?
Ooh, that's kind of fun.
Yeah, I like that.
But that makes it sound like you're one of those critics who's deliberately inflicting all the bad stuff on themselves.
Or the movies have to be bad, but that's okay.
How about real spoiled?
Awesome.
No, real spoiled.
Nope.
You don't like that?
No. I don't have it. It doesn't give me the imagery that I think you want to portray. That's the only reason why I say that.
Now, let's see what we have out there as far as real rotten's already taken.
It is.
Okay.
Oh.
Yep, real rotten's.
Not to mention that almost sounds like if you're a Hanna-Barbera fan.
They're up to episode 139.
Good Lord. Okay.
They're talking Master of Disguise, Jaws: The Revenge.
And it was brief, as I said, it was briefly having me think of the Laugh Olympics when I was thinking about it. If I'm showing my age on that one.
The 2012 Red Dawn, because we all know anything else other than the original Red Dawn is terrible.
That's very true.
It's rather interesting. I came across there. Anybody watch Cinema Tyler?
No.
He's a kind of a movie historian who's been mostly specializing in Kubrick lately, but he was the reason that came to mind was the last one that he did was about that writer because that was the guy who wrote and directed Red Dawn was also the man who wrote the screenplay for Apocalypse Now.
Real Spoiled, or is actually a Real Spoilers podcast, so that's also taken.
This is getting spooky. I mean, yes, I know it's a big population out there, but still.
Yeah. Well, and then it makes me question, like, how many people have podcasts? Good Lord.
Oh, good. Every white man in America has a podcast. I'm surprised Bill and I don't have one yet.
I mean, I probably am going to be starting to throw something together for all of my. I need to write the script for some of my for the time lapse Storm of Swords series I'm planning. Yeah, because not counting CNW, I haven't really done anything with my YouTube channel recently. And I've been trying to think of the ways of doing comic strip parallel stuff on it, and I really haven't thought of a good angle.
Well, there is a podcast called The Marquee,
Okay.
and another cast called The Marquee Show.
Oh,
But I'm not seeing anything that's Marky Mark or Marquee.
yeah, but I would be worried about the people making the connection with Wahlberg.
Marky?
Yeah.
No, I mean Marquee.
Oh. Ooh.
Let's see. Marquee's podcast is an ESPN one, so it's not exactly in the movies. And I'm sure that Film Fan podcast is probably taken. Yep, Film Fan podcast. So if I went Flim Flam, Film Fan, oh no, now that's just stupid. Flim Flam.
Oh God! Now I have a My Little Pony song stuck in my head.
Yeah, Flim Flam is also taken.
Okay.
Are there any other film in jokes that occur to you that?
We are going through quite a lot of material that other people, apparently there was a committee that we weren't on that went through all these.
I feel like are we an original, or are there just too many people
Trying
wanting to
to
do
literally-
podcast? Like, is it us or is it them? Like, I'm not sure here.
What do you think about the name Major Edits?
Major edit.
I mostly like it, but it doesn't. I'm not sure if it's what it implies what you want to talk about.
Yeah, it sounds like it'd be more about grammar.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. That does kind of sound more like.
Oh, Roger, I haven't been reading your comments as you've been typing them up. Can you go back a couple pages if you've been writing anything? No, you haven't been writing anything? Okay, you just been trying. That's okay. I asked this question, suddenly Roger's hand stops in the mid-sketch. Like, what? I'm supposed to be listening to you guys?
Feature follies.
Well, let's work with the whole creature feature thing. Creature follies.
Though, do you want to be doing exclusively horror films?
No, but I was hoping to do just people's favorite films.
Okay, then we need something about preference and favorite. And
Favorite
is this mostly,
features?
is this going to be mostly artists?
Let's try that. Favorite features.
There you go.
Or favored features?
There's feature favorites. It's a podcast.
Feature favorites.
Feature favorites. And apparently it's on one of the top 50 podcasts to listen to.
Oh crap. Okay. That one's out. Hmm. I know this is going to come to you.
No more than it has 500 other people. Because if I typed in, I'm just going to do a search for podcasts about movies. Let's see. I'm going to go into the 20 best movie podcasts and see what they're called. Script Notes. That's pretty good. That's a nice title.
That one sounds like a specialty one.
Zoom. The Rewatchables.
The Rewatchables. That's interesting.
Yeah. Oh, here's one that I've listened to. You Must Remember This. That was a great podcast. Denzel Washington is the greatest actor of all time, period. Podcast.
Okay.
How Did This Get Made? Unspooled.
Ooh, I like that one.
I've listened to Unspooled, but Amy Schwimmer talking about Paul Scheer and Amy Nicholson talking about movies. It's kind of fun, but it was more chatty than detailed. Me Too Got Old. It's what Roger. Let's see. Still Processing. Let's see. Black on Black Cinema.
Let's
The
see.
Quipster Film Review Podcast. The Cinema Clash.
Maybe perhaps you can cash in on what you're known for, something attach it to Cartoon Critic.
Yeah, the Comic Critic.
Couldn't you just,
I just might have to go with the Comic Critic podcast.
Which is good. I mean, that's not a horrible one right there.
Cinema Clash, but let's see, the Cinephile, Double Toasted, Podcast Like It's 1999. Oh, that's a great one. Hollywood Babylon. That's cute because it's Babble on.
Mm-hmm.
Film Spotting. Kermode and Mayo's Film Review. I Was There Too. This Had Oscar Buzz. And these are all great, podcast names. I'm going to try Armchair Review.
I'll be surprised if that one doesn't have one.
Yeah, it's a armchair reviews. Armchair expert reviews for armchair expert umbrella.
Oh my gosh.
Lots of armchair experts. Comic critic BS. Oh. How about this movie not yet rated?
Ooh, I like that. Of course, it's long, but I still like it. All right, let's see if we can get these glasses sorted.
Okay. Guess what?
It was
I
taken.
Not yet rated is a podcast. This podcast not yet rated, also a podcast. This film not rated, a podcast. Not yet rated, also a podcast. Not rated yet, also a podcast.
Oh my god.
So, oof. Not yet rated, great Australian podcast directory. Podcast BS? No, that now you're just talking about a podcast about podcasts.
So somebody's rating other podcasts on their podcast?
Oh, that was an idea by Roger, was podcast BS.
That's kind of fun, though. That would be funny if your whole podcast is about judging other podcasts.
You know, and what I'd be the most judgy about podcasts is I hate guys talking over the top of each other and just dredging over the same material like 6 or 8 times going, yeah, dude, yeah. And it sounds like they're, they went down to the local green pharmacy before they decided to record themselves for an hour. But that's what I want this podcast to be. I just want it to be a couple of people talking over the top of each other that I don't have to bother to edit.
Okay.
I want to take the one thing that annoys me the most about podcasts and make it into a podcast. When you're listening to a podcast, what's the two thing, the one thing that bugs you the most and the one thing that you like the most in a podcast?
I like so for me, they have to be engaging. Like, there's a podcast that I follow and I like their posts on social media, but I actually don't enjoy the podcast because it is 2 guys and like you want them to start talking about the movie. It's actually called Homos on Haunted Hill, which is it's really fun. It's these 2 guys. And it's LGBTQ like focused. And the whole concept, the idea, the movies, when they write about it on social media, it gets me all excited. And then I listen to the podcast and it's like they just take forever to start talking about the movie and what they like about the movie. And you listen to and you're listening to the movie podcast because you want to hear about something you don't know about the movie, but then they take like 35 minutes just rambling on and then
I
they
agree.
finally
I mean,
talk about the movie.
I don't watch that many film review. I think the only film review channel podcast I listen to is the one that Wisecracks does. But I was thinking of some of the fiction podcasts I listen to. And sometimes one thing I don't like is that they can get too chatty and thus never get to the point.
It's like, come on, guys, just get to the point.
I mean, a good conversation is great, but at the same time, there has to be something resembling an outline.
Right.
Well, believe it or not, folks, it's 5:30, and you've wasted nearly an hour listening to us trying to come up with podcast names that other people have already come up with. Katie,
If anybody has any ideas, put them in the chat.
What
hold you painting up to the camera, because I think you've made some great progress.
Yeah, I'm just doing a little sketching, and I'm gonna have Roddy in the background, but I'm gonna do him in kind of like a 80s profile with like neon colors, and then the head is gonna be down here, and then over him, because I'm not gonna detail his face, it's gonna say obey. And then of course my little chihuahua is gonna have all kinds of attitude that clearly it doesn't obey.
What's the chihuahua going to be sitting on?
The alien guy's head.
I think that's excellent. I think that is most excellent.
You will have to thank Tim Long. He helped me come up with the idea for this one. And then I'm going to test scanning this and making posters and see what happens. So
I just thought of something where they of a possible joke where it's he's coming in and it's some situation where there's a whole stack of Wrigley chewing gum boxes.
Oh my God, that'd be awesome.
If you can just get some Wrigley's chewing gum wrappers and kind of glue them into the background.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that would be cool. Or I could just draw them.
Believe me, just gluing the wrappers on, people will love that just as much, and you'll save some of your time.
Do like a mixed media vibe here.
Yeah, a mixed media. Anyway, folks, we got to say bye. It's been grand. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Katie, and thank you, Roger, for showing up today. I'll see you.